Hello, beach friends. This week we're going to be beachcombing the shores of Sanibel Island. And yes, I have been here a few times before, but discovery doesn't always mean going somewhere new. Sometimes it's just noticing the same shoreline in a new light. So today I will be trying to discover anything different or new here, but before we start, I just wanted to show you an empty parking lot. It's starting to get cooler here in Southwest Florida, so that means it's starting to get more crowded. So my empty beaches likely won't be all that empty again until next April or so. And if you want to know if it's awesome to live in vacation land and just a short drive over to Sanibel, yes it is, even if it's a little crowded about half the year. Now I am here for low tide, so I'm here also before the sun comes up because I do want to kind of catch that sunrise. And of course I'm looking for seashells, so the tide, all that dark sand, that's where the tide can be at high tide. And now that it is negative low tide, so it's low, but it's actually even lower than normal low tide. So I am kind of excited and hoping to find those elusive little Wintle traps. I know it seems a little weird that a particular beach would have a specific species, but I do come to Lighthouse Beach looking for those Wintle traps. And if I'm doing an early morning beach walk, if I can and the timing works out, I do like to come here before the sunrise comes up, because sometimes, not always, there is just an absolute magical show going on. And so I never know. It's happened twice before. So I pull back and look at the way that those pink clouds, oh, see how it's getting fiery. Oh man, it's pinks and oranges and they just kind of melt together over the Gulf. Oh, it's just so beautiful. So there was two particular mornings. This one's pretty good, but that were just, it took my breath away. This is very pretty. So it's very nice that I get a nice visual show in addition to having entertainment, which we'll be looking for those seashells. So at first glance, it's looking kind of slim, looking like scraps. So I'm just going to have to do or work with what I have here, clearly. All right, let's see what the first, oh, a Gulf oyster drill. So it is a Gulf oyster drill, but the animal is not quite done with its shell yet. So it's not a keeper. So we'll just say hi, sandy little oozy creature, and I'm going to leave you here. But there's a coquina, right? Perfectly safe to collect that beautiful bright pink coquina. The scientific name is Donax variabilis. Oh, a button snail. Oh, look at that little spiral in the center, because we're going to be talking about the golden spiral. So in addition to that, I will be looking for anything that is delightful, colorful, angular, very rare for me to find, in addition to any critters or any other beach treasures. So if you're ready to see what all is out there for us today, let's go to the beach. Oh, here's another coquina. I love the variability of them, those little Donax variabilis. And they're a really important food source too, so nice to see the coquinas here. And that fiery sunrise, yet today it's not going to be one of those. We got caught a little bit of that fire, but yep, that's kind of it. It goes really fast. So now I can turn my attention back to the sand and see what little treasures might be buried here. It's going to be, I have a feeling that this beach is going to make me work today. All right, here we have a spotted slipper snail. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of drawn to just the different colors and patterns. So it's kind of pretty. So that is a spotted slipper snail. Oh, an auger. Oh, it's not just an auger. That is alive. Oh, it's very rare that I find them alive. So I've got it in my hand. Yeah, we're going to put that in water. I just wanted to check out this colorful moon snail. Oh, look at that spiral. Yep, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to get this little critter into some water. There you go. Now, once before, so there it is. And it actually has a little operculum. So this is, I think, only the second time I've ever found a live auger. And I kind of want to see what it does. And obviously the way I placed it, that's not being very helpful. So let me move it. Oh, so the critter's coming out. Okay. And so that little like golden thing, that's its operculum. And I sped it up. It's a snail. They move kind of small, or slow rather. So look, it actually comes out. Check this out. Maybe I should have sped it up a little more. So it's coming out. Whoop. Yep, so that's the way it likes to be oriented. And they hunt worms. And I've talked about it before. So the larger part of the shell is what goes first. And that tapered end is what kind of trails behind. And it does have little harpoons with little toxins. And so it's going to be hunting its worms. The shell is beautiful. I really do like the augers. I wish they came bigger. So that's it. I decided that was enough time hanging out with the auger. It's just going to bury itself at that point, but still kind of cool. I like the way that it kind of spun itself around, and to show you the way that it moves itself through the sand. Okay, we have a couple more. Yeah, low tide Sanibel. The time of year, like I said, my empty beaches, almost no more. I'm pretty much going to have company from here on in, unless of course I show up at 3 in the morning. And you know what? Even then there might be people here. Who knows? Love this shell. Love this species. That is a ribbed cantharus. The animal is not done with its shell yet. So that is not a keeper. It's kind of sandy, but still, it would be pretty. Would be a pretty keeper. All right, so that's the sunrise. And we're going to put that cantharus back in the water. And don't throw the animals into the water. We don't throw, kittens and puppies. Don't throw snails. I know they're just little gooey things, but they're attached to their shell with a muscle, and that can be dislodged or it can be hurt if you throw it. Just checking to make sure that's not alive. So we have a lettered olive. Yeah, normally they have either an animal or like shells jammed in the opening of the aperture. Oh, what's this? Oh, a Centura hunteria or banded tulip. Yeah, probably not a keeper, but they're here too. So for people who are looking for their starter shells, could be a good day. I guess there's just not much near the water. Let's see what's up here. Oh, so these are calico scallops. That one was likely a white one that had been buried for a while. So something like that is a little more special because it kind of had to be cooked. So that's been buried. And just a little more special because they don't naturally come in gray. Oh, my bracelet. You might see that Hebrew cone there. You might see it again and again throughout the video. And if you want one or you want your treasures turned into jewelry, contact Ocean Soul. I will put information in the description box below along with a little discount code. Now that is another auger keeper. Yay. A buttercup lucine. Yes, at least it's got a little bit of butteriness in there. Sometimes you can tell it's so yellow you can actually see it kind of through the shell. Neat. I don't know that I've ever seen a live one of those. Huh. All right, back. Okay, so the variable coquina, the scientific name is Donax variabilis. Donax in Latin means wedge. And clearly we can see why. It really does look like a little wedge. All right. Place that critter in the surf. Okay, yeah, it's a corrugate jewel box. They're just kind of funny looking. They look like they're melting. So if you see a shell that kind of has like drippy things on it, or like chewing gum, I kind of think they look funny. It's a corrugate jewel box. This is mother of pearl or nacre. This just happens to be a particularly pretty piece of it. Yeah, it's nice to see. It's kind of like bling. That's definitely some beach bling. Oh, this looks great. Okay, Wentel trap. Where are you? I see a couple things. I do see that little lightning walk. What's this? Okay, little fighting conch. Yep, that is a little fighting conch. I know they look, I love it. They look so different at every stage of life. Yep, there's that little lightning walk. Yeah. Yep, been hugged by the beach a whole bunch of times. I do see some coquinas. Here's one. Yep, there's another one. What next? Okay, it's like hiding. All right, that is another Gulf oyster drill, but this one is empty. I know, you're probably thinking, you sure that's not a mauve mouth drill? I am sure. Even though that opening is a little bit purple, that is a Gulf oyster drill. Oh, look at this grit. It's good for tinies. We are, oh my, this is my little coquina pile. Oh, a little top snail. So I'm going to see this coquina pile a couple times. That is a little top snail. Lots and lots of coquinas. I try to look beyond them. What else is here? Oh, that is another Gulf oyster drill. Uh-oh. That's not empty. Or is it? Oh, it is empty. Excellent. Yeah, only keep empty shells. Anything with a hermit crab in there or a critter in there, or even if it's questionable, I don't keep it. Oh, all right. Was it questionable? I guess, oh yeah, you know what? I do see an operculum. Yep, that is not a keeper. Nope. So, yeah. And just because, honestly, not only do you kind of obviously harm and perhaps kill the animal if you take it home and you're not supposed to, it stinks. The shell smells. There's just nothing good about it. Leave the living stuff at the beach. Another Gulf oyster drill. Okay, I did not know. I was kind of hoping for Wental Trap Day, but I do happen to like these drills. So it is Gulf Oyster Drill Day here at Sanibel Lighthouse Beach. Oh, look at that. All right, that's just another little fighting conch. They're so delightful. Really, there's just nothing bad about them. They're great. Are you guys see any? I'm looking for those Wental traps. There's an auger. Very sandy auger, yeah. Empty, okay. Yep, no critter in there. All right. Shocking, a Gulf oyster drill. Now see that line kind of below the whorls, that's for me a tell. And also, I feel like it kind of slumps the Gulf oyster drill. So that is another lightning whelk. And we'll probably find a couple more drills. We can maybe, I'll show you the way that the shoulders, like it kind of points down. Is that a thing? Yeah. All right, so I guess I've kind of felt like I've picked over that coquina pile. There's not... What else? Come on, Wental trap. Oh, another spotted slipper snail. Not a Wental trap, but still lovely. A delightful little shell. Oh, okay. For a hot second, I thought that was a colorful moon snail, and it was because of that spiral on top. This is a paper fig. And I want to talk about that spiral we see. Now here we see a colorful moon snail on the left next to the top of a paper fig on the right. And we see that fabulous spiral shape. That spiral is called the golden spiral, which is created by the golden rectangle. I probably learned about this in school, but I was reminded when I saw this spiral on the ground at the Salvador Dali Museum. Now, the golden spiral is created by the golden rectangle, which has a proportion of 1 to 1.618. If you draw another golden rectangle and a golden rectangle, it creates a square, and this pattern repeats over and over for infinity. Now, in those squares, if you draw a corner circle connecting the opposite sides, you create an arc, which when connected creates that golden spiral. And I don't know about you, but I've looked at enough seashells to know that specific shape to me looks exactly like a baby's ear. And we do see that spiral show up again and again and again with these shells. So it's just one of those things I'm glad we finally talked about, the golden spiral. Here is another living ribbed cantharus. I adore these seashells. This seashell also can come in an orange morph form. I don't know what it is about them, just the shape. That's as big as they get, pretty much. I just really like them. But we'll just say, hi, buddy. Love your shell. Hopefully I'll meet that another time, but all right. Let's find something empty and collectible, and hopefully a Wental trap. But you know what? I will take a chestnut turban. Yep, that works for me. Kind of got some nice little color on there. Yeah. That's lovely. A little beaded chestnut turban. More coquinas. All right, so that's seaweed, and the tide is coming up. Kind of just working my magic up here. Not so much in the top rack line. I'm kind of, yeah, the grit. Kind of looking through and hoping. Oh, another Gulf oyster drill. Lovely. I'm glad I like them. Frankly, I don't really pick up the shells I don't like. So it's not like I'm picking up the shells I don't like going, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. All right, scanning. Yep, another little Gulf oyster drill. I don't know. Did you see that little red thing? It almost looked like it was a rose murex eye. It probably wasn't, but what's this? Yep, top of a tulip. And, oh, a sharp ribbed drill. Swell! I do tend to come across those when I'm looking for tinies. Ah. All right, little horse conch. Terrific. Now, I know it kind of has that same shape as the Gulf oyster drill, but they really are just completely different species. The horse conch obviously gets big. Not so much with the Gulf oyster drill. Moon snails, on the other hand, they can get somewhat large. Want to see it? There we go. Yeah, so that's a little moon snail, a little shark eye. And cute little thing. Yep. A delightful little shark eye. All right. Another Gulf oyster drill. And another horse conch. That's right. At least there's shells here. There have been times it's rough. I mean, I know I've been kind of lamenting. Oh, I guess it was alive. All right, it's alive. I've been lamenting that it's been hard to find shells. All right, there's my little coquina pile. I recognize that little patch there. Yeah, we're gonna pass that up. And look at this other rack line. Oh, another lovely coquina. Gorgeous. Like the bright colors of those. I wish that we had giant coquina. There is a species called a giant coquina. We don't really have them over here. An urchin. So that's a short spine urchin, a little baby one. I already am like, oh, they're so delicate. So I am going to put that in my delicates container and hope for the best. And it was about this time I was like, why did I bother coming at low tide? Like, I haven't spent any time really by the water just because there hasn't been any shells over there. So, it is what it is. It also, if you can't make it for low tide, go first thing. You kind of have first crack at the beach. So clearly the tide is coming in. That's right. I'm going to move down the beach just a little bit, see if I can find any more grit or anything, frankly. And another live ribbed Cantharus. All right. Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, and that's why I like those shells. Yeah. All right. It's okay. That's okay. I'll just kind of appreciate the fact that I'm still able to put my feet in the water. It's not so cold quite yet. I do have a jacket on. First day I'm wearing a jacket, but yeah, I've still got my feet in the water. So it's not quite that cold. And there's still not quite any shells in the water. So here I am back up on the sand for a turkey wing. Zigzag arc. Your pick. I can't tell if they're broken. They're just kind of weird. Yeah, that's why. So I turn them over. I'm like, okay, it is not broken. And then I look at this way. I'm like, it almost looks like it could be broken, but it's not. Fabulous. Oh, and another one. Fabulous little turkey wing. And yep, doing the old check. Not broken. It does have a little like a worm gouge on that right side, but still very nice. Oh, and I'm going to go bay scallop. I'm pretty sure that is a bay scallop. Both the calico and the bay scallops can be white like that. And it's possible that's a calico. So I don't know. I'm going to go 50-50 either way. And as I admire this buttercup lucine, very buttery. Oh yeah, I'm just kind of appreciating the depth. It's like a little mini bowl. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be harder to shell in the water anyway, and so at least the stuff I'm finding on the beach is sedentary, so a little bit easier to target. And I am going to turn around. I really did want to find some Wental traps, so I'm going to go back around to the point. Oh, hello. And maybe I'll even fill that with some tinies. So that's a beach bowl or giant Atlantic cockle, if we really want to call it by the common name. A worm snail. Not to be confused with a worm. So it's not like those aren't the worms that the auger would be chasing. That's a worm snail versus a worm. So some worms are just worms. They don't have shells or anything. Lots of seaweed. And look at the tide. It's come all the way up to the seaweed. Yeah. All right. So I've lost any of the ability to shell below the seaweed at this point. What's that? Okay, another little top snail. Now, it's got, I wonder if the protoconch on that is also pink, like the lace murex and some of the other shells. Another auger. Gorgeous. Coquina? What do we got? Yeah, purple coquina. Yep. One of those little wedge shells. Lovely. Yeah, grab this yellow one too. You were calling to me. I heard you. Not to worry. What about, yep, you, I know. I'm coming. I'm coming. I guess the white ones don't scream at me as less. Sometimes they do. This little bubble, so yeah, it's broken. We're going to leave that. But looking for those bubbles are going to lead me to those other little tiny shells. All right, so guess what that's my coquina pile. Yeah. Oh, did I miss that? Well, it's broken. Maybe I didn't necessarily miss it. What is that? What is this tiny itty bitty? Broken. Oh, that's it. So my coquina pile, that's it. The water is, yeah, tide is going to take it away. And it feels like the tide comes up really fast sometimes. So you only get so long. That's kind of special. Oh, is that a bubble? Oh, and a little button snail. Delightful. A little fighting conch. Or not. I guess I didn't feel like even showing you. Sorry about that. Yeah, I put it down. You probably didn't need to see it anyway. All right, we still got some beach, still got some time, still got a little bit of tide. Look at this little apple murex. Well, you are just delightful. And you do look a little bit like some of those other drills, but no, you are the Phyllonotus pommum. And we have another one. Huh. Go figure. Another little apple murex. Good things come in twos. Yay. So Lighthouse Beach is kind of famous. I feel like anyone who comes to Sanibel at least stops here. But me and Lighthouse Beach have not always had a really great relationship. We kind of battle it out. Sometimes it gives me its treasures. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, this is a banded tulip. That's Centura hunteria. So today it's been being a little stingy. And so we got terns, royal terns, sandwich terns, gulls. We had talked about not chasing the birds, letting them have their time to rest and relax. And they're pretty, chill. If you don't walk fast and you don't harass them, they're okay. Unlike the skimmers. The skimmers will not do this. The skimmers won't come anywhere near you. Some of these other terns and stuff, they don't seem to mind. Okay, bubbles, button snail. Oh, there's not much else. Okay. All right, let's wrap around the corner. Yeah, and the profile of this beach has changed a lot because the good place to find the tinies used to kind of be around the corner here, but it's just changed with the replenishment and everything that's going on. I guess that's just nature of the beach. It's just always changing. And yeah, I'm not seeing all that much over here, so I do think I'm going to turn around, but I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let you all enjoy some beach time. I was thinking about where the houses went. So there was an innkeeper when the house used to be maintained full time. There were homes like underneath the lighthouse, and they were, after the hurricane, just gone. I guess they're probably just sitting out somewhere. So this is for my bird friends. For all of you that like the bird, I like the birds. And the shells and the sounds and everything that goes along with being at the beach. All right, well, there's some little tiny, you never know. Oh, I've found some really, oh, speaking of really cool tiny shells, I was going to talk about the Simnia, but this is a pitted murex. So it is a member of the murex family, just like the apple murex and the lace murex, but it is a pitted murex. This is not in fantastic shape, but still a really exciting find. The only murex I haven't found quite yet that I'd really like to is the cabbret murex. This is an example from the Shell Museum. So I'm still in the hunt for a cabbret murex. Now, I don't know if you guys know about tusk shells. So there's other little critters that make these little, like, straw, almost straw-like. Now, sometimes they're closed on one end like a tusk, and sometimes they're open on both ends. Yeah, weird, right? They are, I see them a lot when people make crafts and they make like the sailor's valentines. I see some of the tusk shells pop up. So, yep, that's another little fun thing you can collect here, tusk shells. I was hoping it was a sharp rib drill. I actually think that is a Gulf oyster. See the stripes on it? So yeah, I think that is a rather bleached out Gulf oyster drill. All right, another auger. That works for me. I'm not going home empty-handed, that's for sure. Oh, a sharp rib drill. I was hoping, well, no, it's still exciting. Ooh. Now, when I'm on the beach and it's really kind of bright, I can't see. So I'm trying to determine like what is in the shell. So we have an auger and a sharp rib drill, and I've determined that it's just crushed up shells in it, so it's safe to collect. There's another top snail. I don't pass them up, like ever. There's just some shells I may pass up, but top snails are not one of them. And another little chestnut turban. Excellent. I think I'm going to invest in some sort of like, I don't know, magnifying glass or something that I can use when I'm doing, although I don't want to start a fire, but, oh, look at that pretty worm snail. That's a Fargo worm snail. That dark color is a little unusual. Normally they're a little bit bleached out. That's really pretty. Fargo worm snail. Now, this little shell. So obviously I pick it up. It's probably some sort of dove. It looks like a dove snail of some sort. And we're going to talk about that at the end of the video, but we'll just kind of put that in the shell bag for now. That is the closest I come to finding a Wenzel trap today. That is one of the ones I call an imposter, or fly speck seraph, but it's not like I'm going home empty-handed. I have some augers. It looks like another, isn't that sharp rib drill, the top snail, a coquina. So there were lots of fun little shells. The beach was stingy with me today, but you know what? If I got what I wanted every single time I went to the beach, it probably wouldn't be as exciting when I do get to find fabulous things. So I'm just going to appreciate what I do get and just keep coming back, because every single time I come back, it's always different. So as far as garbage, there's only a tiny bit of garbage. There was like this plastic cup and this weird tubing in a bottle, and it came to 2.2 ounces, which isn't a lot. However, it does add up. So I've collected a little over 83 pounds of garbage from our beaches. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but there are 29 species here, including these coquinas. And then we have that lettered olive. We have these bubbles here. There's the spotted slipper snails. The apple murex above it. We have all of those Gulf oyster drills. There was a mystery. I'm not sure what that one shell is. There was some sharp rib drills, the augers, including that little itty bitty auger, a jasper cone, some tusk shells. There was that urchin, a jingle, some horse conchs, some turkey wings on top, the banded tulip, a spiny jewel box. There were some pen shell or mother of pearl pieces. That little lightning whelk, the moon snail, the giant Atlantic cockle with no Wenzel traps in it, the button snails, the top snails, the buttercup lucines, and there was some fighting conchs, a channel duck clam, a dosinia. Here are some calico scallops. And then there were the worm snails, and then there was one limpet. And then my favorites were that pitted murex, the mystery dove snail. There was a little tiny Gulf oyster drill, and then that sharp-ribbed drill. Now back to the dove snail. So I bleached it. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that so pretty? And so I was trying to figure out what exactly is this shell. That's just kind of my jam. I do like to understand and identify seashells that I find. So I break out my favorite book, Florida's Living Beaches by Blair and Dawn Witherington. I thumb over to the page with the dove snails, and it's not here. All right, not entirely surprising. This book is very comprehensive, but it does not have every single shell. So next thing I do is head over to the National Shell Museum website, and I'm not finding it there either. So the next thing I do is I post it on Facebook. I got questionable responses. Then I emailed Dr. Jose over at the Shell Museum, and basically I've got myself a yellow dove shell. This is not a local shell. This is what would be considered a wedding shell. This is found off Madagascar and Tanzania in the Indo-West Pacific. So it's a wedding shell. That's kind of fun. No wonder it was so hard for me to ID it. And it took a lot of time and kind of went down a weird little rabbit hole, but that's just the kind of gal I am. Patreons, thank you. Thank you so very much for just being awesome and supporting me. And I do throw a little bit of extra content over on patreon.com. So if you like this kind of content and you'd like to also support me, you can head over there. I do have a link in the description box below, but every week I just go on and on about how much I appreciate everyone who does support me, and anyone who does, even if you're not a patron, just thank you. Thank you for being here and part of this awesome community. Next week, I'm going back for tinies, but it's so fun. I battle it out with the hermit crabs. I find some excellent tiny shells. So until then, I hope you have yourself a great week, and I'll see you again next Sunday.